What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Heroclix video. We are on the Warriors 3 Legacy card preview from the War of the Realms set. There are 3 figures, obviously. So we went from the Wrecking Crew to the Warriors 3. Okay, first thing to note about all these 3, just like the Wrecking Crew, they all have basically the same trait, which is Sidestep, and they have an additional effect. One gives an attack, +1 attack, +1. The other one gives +1 defense, and the other one, they can't reduce damage below 1. Damage they deal can't be reduced below 1. Also, they're all unique, so you can't play multiples of the same character, which, you know, it could be bad, just because if you want to play, let's say you want to play 2 Fandrals, you can't when it comes to this specific legacy card figure. You could play different Fandrals with this Fandral, but if you want to get the bonus for things like, you know, like to get multiple +1 attacks, you won't be able to do it. So let's just jump right into these Asgardians. Fandral number 18 from Hammer of Thor. So whereas the Wrecking Crew are all from Mighty Thor, this is all from Hammer of Thor. So these are older, the smaller dials, smaller bases, no click numbers, which is going to be kind of tough, so you're going to have to really rely on the back of the cards for this one, and obviously they're smaller. So Fandral, he's 8 clicks, which is pretty solid. 75 points, 8 clicks is already really good, because most characters nowadays we're looking at 7 clicks at 75 points, 6 clicks sometimes with a good trait, good stats. This one's 8 clicks for 75, not bad. The stats are decent. Of course, back when they used to design Asgardians, they would dip in the middle and then they would go right back up at the back end, where their attack and damage goes back up. Maybe their defense doesn't go up, but attack and damage, they become offensive again. This guy's no exception. He has a trait, Warriors 3, Fandral, Sidestep. Remember, they all have Sidestep, so that's already solid. When Fandral starts the game, if there are exactly 3 characters with the Warriors 3 keyword on your starting force, this game those characters have modify attack +1. Interesting to note here is it only checks 1 time when he starts the game, whether he comes from the sideline or he comes in through other means, or just basically on your starting force. If you have exactly 3 characters, it doesn't matter for the rest of the game if you get more than 3 or if you have less than 3. All of those characters will have +1 attack forever, you know, through this trait. So, you know, someone like Fandral here will have 12 attack, 11 attack, 10 attack, 11, 12, all the way through, which is really solid. And he has a foot power, the dashing, charge, flurry, improved movement, characters elevated. That's really solid too. You know, he has sidestep with charge, and he ignores characters and elevated, so he can actually move essentially 7 squares for his charge. He has outwit, invulnerability up top. You know, most Asgardians back then, when they designed them, had these strong reducers, and then he goes to reflexes and goes to toughness. Outwit on the front and on the back. Damage potential is still good because it's 3s, and then when it drops to 2, he has blades. Attack will always be higher. Just the only thing that I can see why, aside from the point value, alright, because 75 is kind of high already for a close combat guy that, you know, is not Sky Tyrant. He only has 3 clicks of the special foot power, the charge flurry. Of course, you know, aside from, you know, the way that the Wrecking Crew can protect themselves is they can get up close without getting shot in the beginning, whereas this guy will move up, he'll get shot. So by the time he gets into combat, he might not even have that foot power anymore. He might just be on blades. So that is something that you'll have to keep in mind when you're playing this piece, because 75 points is a little bit high for a close combat piece that kind of loses that power, and then now he's not as good because he just has sidestep. Still okay. I mean, if you look at the stats, the +1 attack and all that, still okay. Okay, now the next one we have Hogun. number 34. He's the rare from Hammer of Thor. 75 points again, 8 clicks, just like Fandral. He has the Warriors 3, Hogun. Sidestep. When Hogun starts the game, if there are exactly 3 characters with the Warriors 3 keyword on your starting force, this game, those characters have damage dealt by this character can't be reduced below 1. This is amazing for getting through Invincible or Impervious and you don't have Penetrating. Especially if they have something where they can reduce penetrating damage. This just can't be reduced below 1 at all, so that's going to stick through. And then, in the mid dial, he has Close Combat Expert and Exploit, so his attack and damage will go up. If you have, so if you look at his dial here on the front end, Invuln, and then on the back end, Toughness, and of course he's got that Asgardian dial on the back where the attack goes up to 11, 12, or 11s, and then if you have Fandral, it goes up higher, and he has Close Combat Expert and Exploit in the middle. Again, the problem here is he has Charge up top for only 3 clicks. Of course, he has Sidestep, but he doesn't have anything else really. If he gets hit off of that, it's going to be hard for him to get into combat. And with only having Toughness, he could go down fairly quickly, especially if they have penetrating attacks. So, much like Fandral, if you can get them into combat before they can get hit, they'll be okay. But otherwise, it's going to be tough. So, the next one and the last one is Volstagg, the super rare number 59 from Hammer of Thor as well. He has Warriors 3, Volstagg, Sidestep. When Volstagg starts the game, if there are exactly 3 characters with the Warriors 3 keyword on your starting force, this game, those characters have modified defense +1. So whereas Fandral gave +1 attack, Volstagg gives +1 defense. So you play all 3 of them for 225 points. They'll all have like 12 attack, 19 defense up top, which is solid. It's just that they only have 3 clicks of their special, of their like movement attack stuff. So if they get hit off of that, which isn't very hard to do in Modern and Bronze, especially since you can outwit these guys, that could be a problem. He has the foot power, the enormous, plasticity, immobile, but only if it's not your turn. So they won't be able to knock him back. They won't be able to place him anywhere, anything, which is good. He has plasticity, but he only has sidestep. To make up for the fact that he doesn't have like a movement attack, kind of like the other 2 have charge, he has a 9th click and he does more damage. With super strength and 4 damage, he could do 5 damage up close. His movement, which makes sense because he's a big guy, he'll just have sidestep. It's gonna be harder for him to have charge. He does go back up to 4 damage on the back end again, 10 attack, 11 attack, of course, Asgardian dial. 9 clicks for 75 points is actually very, very solid. Pretty efficient. If you do play him with Fandral, his attack will be 12s and 11s and 10s the whole dial. And himself, he'll have 19s and 18s. So that's not bad. It's just, again, getting shot on the way up for 75 points and not really having a movement attack can be a detriment. But, all 3 of these guys, if you play them together, obviously in a casual format or a theme team, it could be fun. Could be tough to deal with if you do some kind of format where it's only close combat, no range, things like that. But in Modern Bronze, I think they'll be hard pressed to be competitive. You might have to look at other Warriors 3 to put in with these guys. If you want, for example, you want Fandral's bonus where he gives everyone +1 attack, you might play him with the different Warriors 3s that came out, like from Mighty Thor, or you want the damage can't be reduced below 1 from Hogun. You might look at some of those guys. Interesting to note that with that trait, if they deal poison or any kind of damage through any other effect, it will get through no matter what, even if they reduce it or whatever. They'll still do 1. So an example would be poison. And yeah, so that's the Warriors 3. I think they are definitely on the lower side when it comes to competitive play, because the Wrecking Crew just wrecks these guys if you compare the 2 for their point values, because 50, 60, and 75, and they do a lot. They can protect themselves, they stop a lot of damage, and their attacks can get up as well. These guys, although they work well together, I think they're just a little too many points. If they were maybe 60 points or 50 points, maybe I could see it. Of course, then we're looking at 8 or 9 clicks for 50 or 60 points. That might be a little too ridiculous, but in a format where there's a Sky Tyrant, you're going to need to really build your team around that freaking guy. Anyway, that's what we got for this review, and we'll be back for the next one, which will be the 3 it'll basically be the rest of the Asgardians, but I'm going to split them into 2 more episodes. The one will be the big guys like Ymir, Surtur, and the Chariot, and the other will be Thor, Loki, Bill, and Valkyrie. So alright, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys think about these guys. If there's any way you can make these guys really competitive, maybe give them equipment, relics, whatever. But that's it. Yeah, thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time. See you.